What's going on, everybody? Ninth Jim here. Today we're bringing another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive guide. Today we're going to be talking about Butterfree, a Kanto Gen 1 Pokemon that is pretty good, actually, pretty slept on. Not a lot of people see this guy as a real Pokemon, but it is actually very good and it's very viable in competitive play. So, looking at its abilities here, we have Compound Eyes, which is going to be the one of the ability of choice today. Compound Eyes gives you a buff to your accuracy by 30%. So that's actually really good, especially with moves like Sleep Powder. We'll be going on to our builds here in a moment. I want to talk about a couple of other things here real quick. So first off, you can Gigantamax this Pokemon in competitive play in VGC 2020, and it has a pretty interesting, to say the least, attack here actually for Gmax. It's called Gmax Befuddle. It's a bug type. It could be physical or special. 101 power, which is decent. 101 accuracy. I mean, it's guaranteed attack. 120 physical. 130 or 120 power. So it's a pretty decent bug type attack. So it's gonna be stab. We're gonna have Bug Buzz on our Pokemon on our Gigantamax one, so that we can use this move very well. So, Befuddle, interesting. It guarantees a status to both opposing Pokemon, but it doesn't guarantee what status. So it's actually really interesting. So it guarantees a poison, paralysis, or a sleep on both Pokemon. It's a different one per Pokemon though. So, like, you could hit like a sleep on the left or paralyze on the right, or like, you know, any kind of random part of any one of the three on both Pokemon, but it guarantees it to both Pokemon. So that's actually very strong. Guaranteeing that is really interesting on both Pokemon. So obviously it might not be as strong as just playing a regular Butterfree, having the access to moves like Sleep Powder with Compound Eyes gives you already a very high chance of hitting. It's not a guarantee though. I believe we have Sleep Powder is 75, so adds 30%, so it's very strong. Let me see here. 75. So it's going to move up to like a 97%, so it's like really strong, but it's not always going to hit still. It can still miss. Anyway, we're going to look at these stats real quick. They're very bad, not going to lie. Speed 70 is like not the worst, but it's not great. And special attack 90 is not bad. Defense and special defense isn't bad at 80. Like, it's not the worst. Defense is 50. That's really bad. And then HP is 60 as well, which is bad. Attack we don't even use because of it's really, really bad. But I mean, we just slap a Focus Sash on this guy to guarantee, or not guarantee, but they have to like double target into it for something. So I mean, he's usually living. So whoops. Yeah. So we're gonna go right into it here. We have our first Butterfree. I think this is the optimal way to play it. I don't think the Gmax Butterfree is going to see as much play, as the regular one has better moves. So we're running Focus Sash on it, of course. Like I just said, it's very frail, so there's no reason to not play a Focus Sash on it. I mean, I don't even know what else you would want to run. Focus Sash is definitely the optimal way of playing this guy. Compound Eyes is also the optimal way. The other thing does you no justice, honestly, in competitive play. So we're just running Compound Eyes to get all these attacks a little more accurate. So first off, we have Sleep Powder. So Sleep Powder is like the biggest thing about this Pokemon is it gets you to sleep other Pokemon. 75% accuracy plus that 30% comes out to 97.25 or something. It's really good. It's like usually gonna hit the Sleep Powder, and you'll see it's like very good with Trick Room teams to sleep something and then get Rage Powder so that you can then get Trick Room set up. Almost guaranteed. Not every time, but usually you will. Rage Powder is also very good for... if you don't know what Rage Powder is, it's essentially Follow Me. Doesn't have as much priority though, but it is still really good. It makes your opponents go into him, so it's really good, and it always hits. So that's really good. And then we also have Pollen Puff here. Pollen Puff is really good. It heals your ally 50% of its max HP, so that's really powerful. So usually you'll sleep something, you'll Rage Powder, and if you're still alive, you'll Pollen Puff. Sometimes we have a Tailwind here. This is probably going to be an attacking move on this set, to be honest. Tailwind, unless your team is doing multiple things. On a very dedicated Trick Room, you're not going to be needing the Tailwind because you're going to want to just set up Trick Room, and if you fail to set up Trick Room, you're in a really bad position anyway. Tailwind won't really help you that much. So Tailwind's a maybe, but if this Pokemon is on a team that is not 100% dedicated to Trick Room, say you have this and like a Bronzong with Trick Room, then you have something like a Gastrodon and a Snorlax, but then you also have, something else that likes to be fast, like a Dracovish or like a Drillbur not Drillbur, Excadrill that's like Mold Breaker or something. You have Tailwind for that access as well to make speed control on two different axes. But that way you can Trick Room, and then when that runs out, you can Tailwind, or you can Tailwind and then not even use Trick Room that game. It just depends on how the game goes. Tailwind is a maybe, but I mean, with this set, there's no attacks. There's like actually no attacks. It's just all support moves: Tailwind, Pollen Puff, Rage Powder, Sleep Powder. So it's it's up in the air. Tailwind can change if that's what needs to be done. Pollen Puff can also change if that's what needs to be done. But I think this is a pretty good starting set here. We also have into our investments here. We maxed our HP and maxed our speed. As there's no actual attacks, we don't max anything else. On this other set, we just max speed and then max our special attack because there's Focus Sash. So like we're gonna die anyway to 2 hits, so we might as well put it into something else. But here, like, you can actually live a couple of attacks maybe. So we just max the HP and then and speed, of course, and then make it Timid Nature. 2 max out on speed. You see the plus 252 plus, bringing us up to a 134, which isn't amazing speed, but Rage Powder has priority anyway. So you priority. You also have Sleep Powder for, so a lot of typical turn ones are gonna be like Butterfree Bronzong or Butterfree Dusclops, and you're gonna protect with the corresponding Pokemon, and then you're gonna Sleep Powder, and then next turn you Rage Powder. They have to target in on Butterfree, and then Bronzong gets its Trick Room up for free, or Dusclops, either one. Sorry that I keep, Anyway, Sleep Powder, Rage Powder, Pollen Puff, Tailwind is very good. This, I think, is a good spread. Butterfree is a really interesting Pokemon. It's a really good support type Pokemon for Trick Room teams. Anyway, going into the G-Max version, we still have Focus Sash and Compound Eyes. We also still have Sleep Powder and Tailwind. These could change out, but the most important things here are Bug Buzz and Air Slash, as this is an attacking Pokemon at this point. Attack, support attack at the same time. It does do a guaranteed status on both of your opponent's Pokemon. You want Focus Sash so that you can get it off. It's still only 134 speed, so it's still lacking a little bit in speed here, but excuse me. But yeah, special attack and speed, max out speed as well, being the nature of choice here. We just want to attack, get some status infliction on, and then G-Max Butterfree will likely die, but being up for the Befuddle is really strong as well. Befuddle, honestly, Bug is not amazing in this gen. Bug is not seeing as much play because it's just not really anything that really cares about bugs, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, that's G-Max Butterfree. I don't think that's the optimal way to play it. It might be fine. I mean, you can always just put the G-Max Butterfree in this place. It doesn't have to be a regular Butterfree. I don't think there's any restrictions to having multiple G-Max on your team or anything like that. So this could just be G-Max Butterfree, so you have the option of it. And then this attack would be Bug Buzz, so that you could Bug Buzz, so that you could use your attack here. You could also then just into special attack. Then you have Bug Buzz when you're little, and you also have the G-Max Befuddle when you Gigantamax. So that's always an option as well. Focus Sash is definitely the optimal thing here. Anyway, we're talking about Trick Room with Butterfree. I think that's the optimal way. I've seen Bronzong Butterfree being played a bunch. So running Trick Room, something with Bronzong, probably like Keyberry or something like that. Levitate. This is not a Bronzong or Dusclops or anything guide, however, so we're just talking about Butterfree, but as partners, these are really good. Something else also like Hatterini and Didi could be good. Something that likes Trick Room, so other Pokemon that like Trick Room, stuff like Torkoal, stuff like Gastrodon, stuff like Ferrothorn, just good Trick Room Pokemon. You could put Rhyperior on this team, and that's awesome. So Yeah, there's a lot of options with Butterfree. I do think Butterfree Bronzong is most likely the best opening start here. Like I said, protect on this guy, so that you can do that play, protect, and then keep him alive, and then you go in with Sleep Powder on something, and then next turn Trick Room and Rage Powder. That seems to be a very strong option for early games, and yeah, I like that a lot. So in sum up, Butterfree is a great support Pokemon, ideally for a Trick Room setting. It also has access to Tailwind, so that's another option that's great. Pollen Puff heals your Pokemon, so that's awesome. Overall, this Pokemon is really interesting. I think it'll see a little bit of play, not a lot of play, but it will see play in a couple of niche Trick Room scenarios, just like that, as I was saying. Gmax is not as strong, but the Gmax in the attack is very interesting. May not be amazing, but it is very interesting, to say the least. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's going to be everything for today's video. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Go down and comment any other Pokemon you want to see in the future. Butterfree is really interesting. May see more play. I'm going to be putting up a meta-analysis video here probably on Monday about the Galar Weekly number 5. So hopefully we see some more Butterfree in that tournament. We're going to see a lot of Trick Room is what I'm thinking. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening or morning, whenever you are watching this.